We are live. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I am your host, Blake Ruffino. This is Are You Serious Sports? I hope all of you are making it a good one. We know that we are as well. You know, that was something how we normally used to open up every single show. Last night, we had somebody asking us to do it. Here we are doing it again. I don't know why we changed. I think it's just because it became a big thing, and I didn't want it to be a part of the show. But it's how we used to open up every show. And it shows that even in situations, we can adapt as people. We can adapt as a sport. We can adapt as a culture. So many good, positive, or negative ways. Last night, I opened the show up with the AP poll and said some of these people's decisions are absolutely asinine. Well, today, if you've been on social media at all and you follow college athletics, you've seen the video of Haley Sawyer, who covers USC, talking about her AP poll and what she did. Now, I talked to an AP poll voter today, and I don't agree with any of his logic. Doesn't mean that he's not entitled to his opinion. Perception can become reality. And I warned you that these people that are on the playoff selection committees, some of even these athletic directors, they go based off of the narrative that's outside of their own. They're not watching the games like you and I are. Do you think Scott Woodward on a Saturday when there's a big-time game in Death Valley is watching and breaking down every single game if he were on the selection committee? Do you really think he's doing that and forming a real opinion about these teams? No. Then why do you think a beat writer is supposed to? I will humbly sacrifice myself to be an AP poll voter. I will do it. I will succumb to it. But it's also always been a question, Blake, why don't you go to games? How in the Rudy Poo world are you supposed to cover everything that's going on when you're inside of a stadium? Now, maybe you can, maybe you can't. That's up to you guys. I don't know. I don't know if that I have found a way to be able to do that personally. That's why we're tweeting different every single game besides the big games that are when LSU is playing. Then we're here. And you know that we'll always be here. I don't understand some of the logic. I don't understand how a team can lose and the team that just beat them you don't have in front of you because based off of your preconceived notions about what a team is. We can all be wrong. The one thing that I learned very early in this business and continue to learn every single day, guys, you can be wrong. I will be wrong. I will have takes, thoughts, opinions that quite honestly will be dead ass wrong. There will be a lot that will be right. That's why I think we're able to do what we do. In that, sometimes you just got to admit it. It's not the easiest thing. Trust me, I know. It's not the easiest thing. But I do think perception in college football can become reality. Look at the world around you. The world around you is, well, and I say world around you, not politically, but the world around you from a standpoint of what the sport of college football has become without NIL and without the portal. Take that completely out, and what do you have? You have TV networks, massive Fortune 500 companies dictating the sport to you because they want to generate more revenue and more money. It's why you got an expanded playoff. It's why the Big Ten's trying to do automatic qualifier bids, which is absolutely asinine and stupid. It's only a money grab. But it comes down to the bottom line of, guys, everybody's out for themselves about what makes them do it. Are you actually putting in the work is the ultimate question. But if you think that these mathematicians and accountants, they have an accountant that's on the College Football Playoff Selection Committee, a very wealthy accountant who knows what he did to get on that board and selection committee. But you have ADs around the country that are on it too who have no idea what they're talking about. They succumb to public pressure. We've seen them change their narrative on teams week upon week based off of what they believe. I don't think teams like SMU should have gotten in the playoff last year, as an example. And Dave Aranda last week, the Fighting Dave Arandas, I don't care what anybody tells me, that SMU Baylor game might have been one of the best. So was Kansas and Missouri, by the way. But it just goes to show you, you can be wrong. I will succumb and pause. Let me not use that word. I will sacrifice my time to be an AP poll voter. So much I think it means. Some of you think that it doesn't matter and we shouldn't care. Truth is, I think that you might need to. All right, let's get to a couple comments. We will do a Florida deep dive here as we do every Tuesday, looking at our opponent in a deeper light. We'll talk about the LSU baseball schedule as well, probably after Carter Bryant joins us, but we will talk about it as LSU baseball released their schedule today, so we'll talk about that in depth. Really tough one yet again. Kevin is in the 985 Deep South. Good to have you in here. The 985 represent as they always do. Virgil is in Houston, Texas. Good to have you in here with us as well. Melissa is listening from Oklahoma. Melissa, the question is how many times have you heard the word John Mateer this week? That will be the real question. Randy says, Blake, got to start the postgame right after the game to best serve us. It's true. It's what we try to do. Todd says, Sadie Mitchell gone, question mark. I'm sure you meant to type Sadir. Yep, as he does here. Yes, he is. I saw what somebody tried to report today. Not necessarily the truth. I think the truth is that Sadir Mitchell wasn't playing, and he wanted out of here. And he saw that he wasn't going to play. He got beat out by Bernard Gooden. That's the truth. He got beat out by some of these other guys in fall, and he didn't put the work in. So right now, not on the team, and I'm sure Brian Kelly, when he's talked about it, he'll talk about it tomorrow on the SEC teleconference. He'll say, yeah, we'll say you. It's unfortunate. Hold That Tiger says they need to add me in the selection then for real. Oh, there's a lot of people that they need to add, but they're just not going to do it. Bayou Boogie on YouTube with a $5 super chat says Saturday night needs to be Chris Hilton's night. Yeah, I agree. Look, I'm sure Carter and I at some point will talk about this. We talked about it on his show. I don't think Xavier Thomas is the next wide receiver. I think you have two select guys in there. They got to find ways to get Chris Hilton the football. He played 31 plays on Saturday. Okay, last Saturday. You gave him two targets. One was a PI, and one he had to come from the far right hash to break up another interception from Garrett. And I know what Brian Kelly or Joe Sloan or hell, even Garrett Nussmeier say, I was trying to give Chris Hilton a chance. Then why did you throw it there to him? You weren't trying to give him a chance. At least that's a hell of a chance to try to give him if that was the chance that you were trying to give him. They need to get Chris Hilton involved. They got to get Chris Hilton involved here, and they got to get him involved early. Because if they don't, then, well, I don't know. It just doesn't make sense to me. Sherry Berry is listening from Alabama, the 334 representing. Good to have you in here. We greatly appreciate that. Hold the Tiger says, is Hilton soft? No, he's not. Here's what I don't understand. What has Chris Hilton done this season? And the opportunities, I know you want to talk about the fumble. Guys, it's one screen. That's not his game. You did everything that's not in his game. On a fourth down situation, he's got to be better than that. I don't think he had a great game against Clemson, but I also don't think he came close to having a bad game either. I thought it was about average, but you didn't give him the opportunities. Going to have to find a way to give him the opportunities now. 504 NOLA, hit the retweet on Twitter. Yes, if you're listening on Twitter, hit that retweet. We greatly appreciate when y'all do that. Or you're on Facebook or YouTube. Hit the subscribe button, notification bell. You know the drill by now. We greatly appreciate you doing that. Kevin Stone became a new member on the YouTube channel. Thank you so much, Kevin. Couple more. I think maybe like 10 more, and we'll start doing some members-only content around here. So become a member on YouTube, and we'll do some members-only content and go. I'll ask y'all, what content do you want? And we'll talk about it. Hell, I'll just take your questions, and we'll do like a mailbag segment from there. But thank you so much for becoming a member on the YouTube channel. All right, let's get moving here. Everybody do us a favor. Hit the like and share. Share to all those groups if you're on Facebook and to all those social media pages. You're watching us, listening to us on YouTube. Like, subscribe, notification bell, wherever you listen to podcasts. Rate, review, and subscribe. Every episode is brought to you by our good friends over at FanDuel. LSU opened up as a 9.5-point favorite on FanDuel. The line keeps moving a little bit. We'll see where it consistently sits throughout the week. Want to bet on this LSU game? You can go over to FanDuel if you got the discretionary income. Don't go silly. Don't get outside of your means in doing it. But if you want to have some fun, bet on the Heisman, bet on the games this week, a massive week in college football in week 3. Do you think Notre Dame's going down? Do you think A&M is going down? Who do you think is going to prevail this week? Well, you can figure that out, and you can bet on it with our good friends over at FanDuel. If you got a problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER or go over to FanDuel.com/RG for more details. Let me get to a quick break. When we return, we look at a deep dive into Florida. We do that next. Stay with us.
He will sell your house and find you a new. Well, Tyler's the man. He's here for you. If you want to buy or sell, well, it's not too late. Dial 955-0008. Just call 955-0008. Y'all call Tyler. He'll shoot you straight.
Hey, guys, I want to tell you about our good friends over at Red Stick Financial. They're your local residential mortgage broker located right here in the heart of Baton Rouge, Louisiana. At Red Stick Financial, they find the bank that works for your particular set of needs to purchase the home of your dreams or refinance the current one. They truly are your partners in this process, and they pride themselves in helping individuals and families with one simple goal in mind, and that is to make home financing approachable, attainable, and stress-free. They are licensed in all Louisiana, Texas, and Mississippi. So from Amarillo to Meridian and everything in between, they have you covered. Red Stick Financial brings you creative, customized solutions, and they don't believe in the one-size-fits-all when it comes to loans. They even have special options for mobile and manufactured homes located in a flood zone and stated income financing for those of us who are self-employed borrowers. If you or someone you know is looking to buy a home, refinance an existing mortgage, or simply want to know what options are out there for your future, give Red Stick Financial a call today at 225-407-9250. That's 225-407-9250. Or check them out online at redstickfinancial.com. That's redstickfinancial.com. Before you purchase the home of your dreams or you go and do that refinance, you need to go local. Go Red Stick. We're back. Okay, let's get rolling here. So LSU clearly is playing Florida this week, as I'm sure all of you know. I say that every time we lead into one of these things, as if you did not know that we were taking on Florida this week. You know, it was something interesting that I saw today, some things coming out of the University of Florida. Well, I shouldn't say University of Florida, but some things coming around the narrative of the University of Florida. You know, a lot of their people are saying that John Gruden will be in play, and media members that John Gruden will be in play when Billy Napier is fired at some point during or after the season. Don't worry about any of that. It's all fugazi. LSU has got to control what they can control. There are a couple of things that I see when I look at Florida, through the first 2 weeks. I think the biggest question that I have going into this game when I look at Florida is, who is DJ Lagway? Who is DJ Lagway? If DJ Lagway is the player that we think that he can be, then there could be a situation where, look, you got a dogfight on your hands. He's going to be throwing it all over the place. Everyone perceives him to be a quarterback that can be very, very successful. If he is very successful, I hope it doesn't start this week versus us. The stats will lie to you versus what the film has said on him. DJ Lagway so far this season has completed 74.5% of his passes, Oh, Blake, that's exceptional through 2 weeks. And it really is exceptional when you look solidarity at the numbers. But you go and look at the South Florida game, and you got to get full context. You go to LIU in the first game to get context to the situation. I don't think in big moments and critical downs, DJ has extended himself to where I thought a lot of people thought he would be going into year 2. Now the full-time starter. Let's hope that doesn't happen against us. Big critical throws on third down that have got to be completed and protections that have got to be worked out for him to be able to have the success that he wants to. I don't know if Billy Napier is giving him the best opportunity, based off of what I've seen, for him to do what his biggest strengths are. His biggest strengths are to make the unreal, ridiculous throws. Again, we remember last season. You can't keep asking him to dink and dunk, dink and dunk, dink and dunk when that's not his game. He wants to push the ball vertically. Let him push the ball vertically. I do think, and I have seen the narrative, that there have been some mechanical issues with him, and I don't disagree, I guess, from just the overall throwing aspect, but I think the kid is a natural thrower of the football. What we've seen from him in Lagway, when you did it and a season ago, what we've seen through these first couple of games at the end of last season and into this one, is when DJ is forced to make quick decisions, as a young quarterback will, he makes the wrong decision. Or when you put him under pressure, like South Florida did, he may make a bad decision, a critical decision. Doesn't mean he's not talented. Doesn't mean they don't have speed. Doesn't mean that I don't think that they're a really freaking good football team, because I do think defensively they're a really freaking good football team on that side of the football. What I do look at from an overall aspect of things is when I see this offense and I see Billy Napier saying, I'm not giving up play calling. I see that they do have a pretty physical, even against South Florida and LIU. It does look like to me that their offensive line has been very physical. They ran the ball methodically well. They've got speed at wide receiver with Garrett Wilson, with Wilson III. They have speed when you look at them all throughout that wide receiver core, and Vernell Brown, the young freshman. They can take the top off of a defense at any given moment, which I do think will be a challenge for LSU if that's the route that Florida tries to go, and pushing the ball down the field with Lagway and these very fast receivers. But it's not been their game. Guys, there isn't anything that's changed offensively from what Billy has been and what he continues to want to do. Like it, love it, or hate it, Billy Napier is going to be offensively who he is. He is going to run a lot of motions. He is going to run a lot of misdirection. And then he's going to get that power run game going, because that's what they love to do. They want to be physical up front. And there's nothing wrong with that. And I think that they really are. And you cannot take them lightly, because they can be ultra physical. But they just continue offensively to continuously shoot themselves in the foot. They had a special teams issue last week, which I think you need to be ultra aggressive from a special team standpoint, especially if they're punting the football. I think that you need to be very much locked in to them, and when they are on special teams, especially at gunner, they have not been able to get down the field. That's a whole different situation, and something that we'll talk about on Thursday. But when I look at them offensively, they keep making way too many mistakes. The penalties are atrocious. You can't keep having the penalties if you're Florida and think that you're going to win close games against really good opponents. And we think, and we believe, because it more than likely is true, is that LSU is that really good opponent. So when I look at Florida, I see a team that just constantly offensively shoots themselves in the foot. The question I've had, and the question that I ask myself is, are there some similarities to what you're going through? Now, the difference is that they can actually line up and run the football. And they present a very interesting challenge for you defensively. You've seen teams try to spread you out and run the football on you. It's what Louisiana Tech, it is what Clemson has tried to do to you. You've been really good in the run game. When Clemson tried to go power run right at you, You absolutely stuffed them. Jaden Ball's a different beast. This running back room is a different beast. Now you're going up against a different style of team of how they want to attack you. Eye discipline and knowing your role and knowing what you need to do will be massive this week. But I think that you are really good defensively. I think Jack Pyburn is going to set the tone early because he wants to set the tone. I think that you are going to have guys that have played, whether it be in practice or whether it be against games, like Patrick Payton and Jack Pyburn and Don McKinley for a season ago, that want to get a bit of, I don't even want to say revenge, but there's a little bit more hate from a lot of the guys up front than maybe normally that you would have. I think Don McKinley is pissed from some things that I hear inside that building about how last season went. Jack Pyburn wants to get his own reaction based off of him leaving them and now wanting to take it to his former team. And Patrick Payton was a Florida State guy. He hates Florida and has had some of his biggest games against the University of Florida, ironically. But they present a very interesting style. You can think about whatever you want about Billy. You can think whatever you want about this offense. They do present a challenge. It's I don't want to, because it's nothing like Les and what Les ran, but in a way it kind of is in some aspects. Let me explain. It's like, we know you're going to get power run game. We know it. We know that what Billy wants to do, some jet sweeps, he wants to do power run football, play action off of it. Does that sound familiar? But in that, and in those situations, they are a little bit more spread and have a lot of dynamic playmakers on the outside. I think that Florida may continue to struggle here because I don't know if LSU, in the way that you're playing with the level of confidence that you've been playing with defensively, quite frankly, I mean, guys, you shouldn't have given up 7 points last week. I mean, the second half of Clemson, and really, let's just be honest, the first half of Clemson, I don't think that they would have had a touchdown on the pick play on Mansour Delane. Like, we're starting to have the questions. Has LSU defensively really given up any points the first 2 weeks? You roll in some second-team guys, and the Louisiana Tech game, you gave up a score. Guys, if the pick play gets upheld and it's not a blindside on Mansour Delane, how many points does Clemson score? Is it 6? You have shown through the first 2 weeks that defensively you can set the tone and win you a football game. Now, I do think this team is different. What is interesting to me about breaking them down offensively before we look at them on the other side of the football, what is very interesting to me is very simple. Very simple. When I look at them, they are the analogy that you and I constantly talk about on the show. They're that pit bull in the corner. Billy Napier is 20-20 through the 40 games that he has had while he's been at Florida. Guys, this can be it for him. Like, this could be it. And Florida is going to have to make a decision based off the results of what Billy Napier has. I know that Brian Kelly said what he said in the press conference. Guys, they are done as a fan base with him in some of these situations. They're fighting for their life. They were doing the same exact thing a year ago when that team responded to him in a positive way and beat you and beat Ole Miss and finished out their regular season undefeated. I think it's an easy take to look at them and say offensively, oh, we're going to dominate them. And I think that you have a strong possibility that you can. You have that possibility. But they have a lot of weapons that you can't overlook. You can't disrespect this team based off of what happened with South Florida. I will remind you about our Troy game and then going to play Florida the next week and beating them. Guys, goofier shit has happened. They're a shoe throw away a couple of seasons ago from beating you in the COVID year. I just don't know if this LSU defense is going to give them the opportunity to right some of those wrongs. What I would say is the interesting thing about Florida is whether it be LIU or whether it be South Florida, man, if some of those penalties don't happen, guys, they're blowing those teams out. Like South Florida, guys, they gave up 2 touchdowns. They got called back for meaningless holding penalties. What if it does get cleaned up this week? Boy, we're better in South Florida. I'm with you. I agree. This team can move the football, and they're going to throw every single punch, and Billy's going to throw every single punch that he has at you. I just think that you're going to be able to win at the line of scrimmage. I think that your linebackers have been good enough and had done some really good things, and I think you're going to send relentless amount of pressure at DJ Lagway and make him make the right decisions. I think that you will probably man up on the outside and say, go have it, kid. See what we can do early, and if we got to adjust, then by God, then we got to adjust. Tip of the cap to you. Let's get after it. But I do look at them defensively, and I want to take some time when looking at them and talking about them defensively. Sapp, their edge rusher, is one of the best edge guys in the SEC. You faced off week 1 against TJ Parker, and you had some success on not allowing him to be able to get to Garrett consistently. And Garrett did a good job of being able to get outside the pocket and make plays when needed to. Sapp was a part of the group a season ago that was a part of those 7 sacks. Is Caleb Banks going to go? Because if Caleb Banks, the interior defensive lineman, goes, he made Paul Mabinga and he made DJ Chester's life a living hell a season ago. What is the status of Braylon Moore? There is a vibe that people are feeling confident. Let's see what Brian Kelly has to say before we rule any of that. The bottom line issue here for me, when I look at Florida, is, man, you have been struggling in some situations offensively. And it kind of flips itself. As much as we talked about this LSU team and what they can do to you defensively and how Florida has been struggling offensively, I look at this LSU offense and say, you've had some issues too. Are you going to be able to run the football against a really good unit? Is Brendan Bett, the Florida player that spit on a South Florida player last week, is he going to be suspended for the first quarter? Is he going to be out for the first drive? What's up with that? You got LJ McCray, the other edge, that's out with a season-long injury. There's so many good different questions, but guys, they are really good in their front 7. They got some really good dudes. They got some really good players. Some very good players. And I ask myself the question, can this O-line hold up? A season ago, we saw against damn near guys, the same unit minus Jack Pyburn, who is on your team. We saw that unit take it to you. This offensive line against Louisiana Tech in some situations, and this offensive line against Louisiana Tech does not probably give you the hope that you are wanting to have going into this game. Do you take it personal? Do you play with some intensity along your interior of offensive line? I know that there's been a lot made of Weston Davis. I am fine with living with some reps. I'm fine with living with him growing because I still can see some of the positive things that are going on at right tackle. Your interior offensive line has got to be better. Ron Roberts, I don't know what he's going to do and what he has up his sleeve for you. He will be very multiple. His core principle is running that 3-3-5. It is. In that 3-3-5, guys, you couldn't run against it a week ago. And if DJ Chester is your center and you got a head up nose, well, your guards better be exceptional. Because Caleb Banks and company are coming right after you. We will talk about this on Thursday. I think early, you're going to have to try to exhaust this defensive line. Ironically, I think you need to have some of the same game plan that you had a season ago, but now finish the job with a better defense. You can do that. But, guys, I got to tell you, I don't know if they respect you from a vertical game passing standpoint. Ron is a guy who is going to send pressure after Garrett. He will send pressure after Garrett. And when he sends that pressure, can you get the ball out quick enough and be able to make plays enough to where you're going to be able to counteract that? Brandon, can you send Carter the link? Thank you. All right. So I was wondering where Carter was. I guess Brandon, he said the link didn't work. Send it to him again. He just texted me. Okay. I think they're going to send a lot of pressure after Garrett. And how does that offensive line hold up? The last thing I'd say here, that defensive line already has 10.5 tackles for loss. And they could have had a lot more. You got to get the ball out quickly early and try to exhaust this defensive line. All right. Yeah, send it to him. We got a super chat in here. Let me get to the super chat before we get to Carter here. Hunter Harding on YouTube says, hey, Blake, checking in from the 404 Atlanta by the way of Folsom. What weaknesses does Florida have that we have to exploit for Saturday? I would say for me, Hunter, the biggest thing that I think that you have to exploit against them is getting after DJ Lagway, making him putting pressure on him and making him make the right and quick decisions. On the defense or the offensive side of the football, I think you got to try to do some things like you did against Clemson early, get some screens, get some actions, get the ball out on the perimeter, let your guys make some plays, and try to exhaust that defensive line. Because if you can do that, I think you'll be able to, as the game goes on, wear them down, and I think that's where it's at. DJ, I know that has a 75% completion percentage. You better go watch those games, guys. Some of these critical downs and critical situations when he's under pressure, it's not good. It's not good. All right, let's get to a quick break. When we return, Carter Bryant joins us next. Stay with us. Guys, let me tell you about our good friends over at Grand Slam Heating and Air, where your comfort is their top priority. At Grand Slam Heating and Air, they promise to provide customers with high-quality HVAC service at an affordable price while ensuring the homeowner peace of mind. From their office to your home, they guarantee the best hassle-free experience around. Efficiency and comfort is their game. Let them make your home Grand Slam today. At Grand Slam Heating and Air, they're offering their annual maintenance plan starting off at $18.75 a month and also doing those $99 tune-up promotion. They provide free estimates for system and ductwork replacement as well as offering financing to get the job done with no money up front. From Baton Rouge to Hammond to Covington, they're all around. So what you need to do today, give them a call at 225-380-9065. That's 225-380-9065. Or go over to their website, getgrandslamair.com. That's getgrandslamair.com, where your comfort is their top priority. Guys, I want to talk to you about our good friends over the Drake Williams Law Firm and Drake Title Company. Are you facing tough times due to an injury from a car accident, navigating the complexities of divorce, or purchasing a new home? At the Drake Williams Law Firm and Drake Title Company, they understand the challenges you're going through, and they are here to help. The lawyer team of Ernie Drake III, Ryan J. Williams, and Summer Vignair, along with Morgan Daniels, have the experience and proven track record to give you that peace of mind. Give them a call today at 985-386-7600. That's 985-386-7600 to schedule a free consultation at their brand new office located in historic downtown Ponchatoula. They're also doing a special, the AYS special. If you're refinancing or closing on a home in Southeast Louisiana, request the Drake Title Company to handle your closing. If you mention Blake Ruffino and AYS, you're going to receive a $400 discount on title fees. Again, give them a call at 985-386-7600. Let them know that Blake Ruffino sent you on by. We're back. The Power Bryant. Good evening, good sir. How are you?
Blake, let's celebrate Florida as an annual matchup, potentially for the last time. This is a game I hate more than anyone else in the SEC. It's a true visceral hatred, and LSU fans need to lock in. Don't let one game versus USF completely make you think that it's a cakewalk. I'm a little shocked that the FanDuel sports spread is what it is right now, Blake. You and I talked about that not too long ago, so I'm really excited for this Saturday. Let's go.
Yeah, I do think that they present some very interesting things for you, and I guess we can, I guess, talk about some of the things from last week, but Florida is in a situation where they scare you in the sense of, man, they're going to throw every punch at you. Billy's going to throw every punch at you because, Carter, this could be it for him.
Yeah. And look, Blake, this is the best running back by far that we've played in Jaden Ball.
Oh, no doubt.
Yeah, I mean, obviously Clemson didn't have anyone, and La Tech is La Tech. Jaden Ball destroyed us. I will never forget Sage Ryan pushing him into the end zone. But the dude is flat out great, and Florida's gone away with them. You know, he's had 18 first half carries, Blake, 9 second half carries, and so far his per carry splits have actually been good. And normally, when a team's bad, it's just one long run. His long run on the year is 26 yards. So they've had success with number 13 toting the rock. And with the passing game being the way that it is right now, I expect Florida trying to establish the run. And from the LSU side of it, that's why you go get Jack Pyburn, right? The guy that is more fired up than anyone in that locker room. It's not even close for this game. And he has done an excellent job setting the edge. He's been exactly who we think he will be. So I do think Florida's going to try and run the football. And if they get some run game going, expect the play action game for Billy Napier.
What have you seen from DJ Lagway through 2 weeks?
Yeah, I will say this. I don't watch him as closely as some of the other quarterbacks. But Blake, I thought going into the season, it was amazing how everyone had him. I say everyone, but quite a few people had him as the number one quarterback in college football, like not just in the SEC. And it's all based on potential, right? He has a very special arm. He has some mobility. It's not really his game, though. He processes, for the most part, pretty well, if you ask me. But versus South Florida, things just went awry. I think one thing going into the season, Blake, is that Florida way overrated some of their transfer portal wide receiver additions. There were some pretty big red flags for some of those guys that they brought in, including Garrett Nussmeier's former wide receiver, J. Michael Sturdivant. His high school teammate has not really done anything, and he was a good player at UCLA when he was there, and he was a good player at Cal his true freshman season. The receivers just aren't where I expect him to be, right? I understand Aiden Mizell had a lot of prep, or I guess you could say hype going into his Florida career. He has great speed, but you know, it's the Eugene Wilson show in the slot. They haven't really got him going. I know they were really high on their true freshman guys. It's been a mixed bag for them. So I guess for me, the best matchup in this game is, or the matchup you feel the best about, is actually the LSU defense going up against the struggling Florida offense.
Do you think Florida's been good, bad, or worse offensively than LSU has?
It's been about the same. I think, you know, the Louisiana Tech game, I would say, was worse than the game that Florida played in some ways, right? Mm-hmm. Florida's offensive line is better than LSU's offensive line, but they've underperformed. The LSU offensive line struggling isn't really a shock to anyone that's been listening to your show, my show, or anyone that's actually been at practice every single day. But, you know, I just have a tough time talking myself into this LSU offensive line after the game that they had, and then turning around and playing, Blake, your preseason number one defensive line. It's tough.
No. Interior defensive line, my best defensive line was Texas, but continue. Okay.
But still, you viewed them really, really.
Yeah,
high.
They are really good.
Right. So for them to just magically come out and have a great game this Saturday, yes, it could happen, but it's going to be tough, Blake. LSU's offensive line got pushed around. Yes, the schemes aren't great. Yes, running into numbers isn't great. There's so many different outside zone plays we could point to, like, why are we running this play into this front, into this look? It's a mess. The LSU offense is a mess, and that's why this week I actually moved LSU down on my personal SEC power rankings because I'm that concerned about this offense going into Florida.
What have you seen that you don't like?
From our vantage point, well, the first thing is none of the offensive linemen for LSU, I think, played well, where that was not the case versus Clemson. And you made a really good point on my show that I just think it's, and trust me, there's no one that does LSU media that's been more loud about the DJ Chester problem last year. But I totally agreed with what you said this weekend, that it's just a cheap cop-out ass excuse just to blame everything that it was just Braylon Moore leaving the game. That you still,
No, 'cause your guards and your tackles got dominated.
yes, they had really, really, really poor performances. You also astutely pointed out that, yeah, you were playing a 3-3-5 stack. John Sibley's pointed that out. Quite a few people have pointed out that it is unique and that you don't really see it all that often. But Blake, a 3-3-5 stack has nothing to do with you getting your ass punched, you getting your face caved in, which was the case for this LSU offensive line. So that was a problem, and obviously Garrett didn't play well. I mean, there's no other way around. I know we've gotten into so many different Garrett debates. He just didn't play well, and it's not just the Barian Brown underthrow that he flubbed. There were some other things that just weren't all that great. So this offense is just sputtering. And the thing is, Blake, yes, the Clemson game was great. I'm very happy that we won the Clemson game, and the offensive game plan was genius to not let Clemson's strength, which is their defensive line, beat us. So we played quick game, lots of interesting screens, and it was well called, well designed from BK Sloan and the staff. It's just, with that said, we only averaged 5.1 yards per play. Then versus Louisiana Tech, we averaged 4.9 yards per play. Those are two of the three lowest yard per play numbers that LSU has had in the Garrett Nussmeier and Brian Kelly era. The only other one that was lower was Florida last year, where you averaged 4.2 yards per play. And yeah, Florida's missing some guys. They're missing a key linebacker whose name slips my mind right now. But
LJ McCray.
yes,
He's more of an edge.
Right. So 11. I think his jersey number is 11.
Mm-hmm.
I get that it's different. I get that it's a different set of players and it's a different year. But that defense is going into this game with a lot of confidence, knowing that they had a really good game versus you. So this offense is in trouble. I mean, there's just no other way around it. But here's a good thing, is that we know Garrett won't play that poorly again. Or at least I don't. I think he was just playing a little too loose versus Louisiana Tech. He was trying to do things. You mentioned the Barian throw over the middle that should have been intercepted. That was completed. I think Garrett did not take Louisiana Tech seriously. I really don't think
I don't either.
And that honestly needs to be discussed and needs to be addressed because, you should treat every game, every quarterback that has ever played this game that has done so at the highest levels. Brady treated Super Bowls the same way he treated playing the 2-10 Cardinals in week 3. The prep is basically the same. So I think Garrett will lock in and play better versus Florida this weekend. But also Caden is so good that he can find a way to get us through this with the offense having the issues that they had. I also think, and this was something we discussed on Sunday as well, Blake, the wide receiver rotation needs to be discussed as well. And you go on, because you and I had some different opinions on this, and it was very fascinating.
Quickly in reference to the run game and Garrett, you got pushed in a little bit, but I still don't understand why you're running the numbers. Let me give an example. You can be deceived in the run game about a guy getting his shit pushed in when he doesn't have generic help in zone blocking schemes. Let me explain. You're attacking half of a man in a zone blocking scheme, every one of them, unless certain situations at the bookends dictate that you have one solitary guy. Okay, then that's a whole different thing. But you're trying to take on half of a man. And so when you're trying to push and there's no opposite leverage to get push, you're going to get pushed back. So what do I mean by that? When you don't run to or you run against bad numbers and everybody's already got a guy, and you were thinking that, hey, all right, well, you got to come take this guy, and then I go to the second level. Because of how the 3-3-5 generates some things, you can be misled on what we're seeing. What I think is that you just – I mean, I counted 16 of them. Of them. Hold on. This is my game notes from the game. This is my game notes from film. In that, you can see right here, there's 16 times that they run against the numbers. 16. Okay? I don't care how good your offensive line is. If they have an extra guy that you don't, you're in trouble. You're in trouble. Let's go to Garrett.
Oh, wait, one thing I will say to that.
Okay.
I think it's very important. One of the worst run calls was the play that Trey Green got hurt on. And
I want to be careful. I heard you the other night talking about that. I want to be careful because I don't think that was the run called from the booth.
Oh, interesting.
Okay, so let's just be careful, but continue.
Yeah. And judging by the blocking after rewatching it and doing it, I was like, I don't think that was what everyone should have been doing just based on the stats.
Correct. Well, I mean, you had one side of your offensive line going one way and the other side going the opposite way.
Yeah, and then it was interesting, but that kind of now that you've brought that up, that kind of further proves my point about this offense. If we can't get on the same page, knowing what the right calls are, because that's why I brought that play up to you. I brought it up in my show earlier today, that I can't quit thinking about that play, because that could not have been what the call was.
It wasn't
based on what the alignment was of the defense and our offense. But continue. Go on ahead with Garrett.
Well, I just in reference to Garrett, here's the thing. I don't think he prepared enough. I don't think he was ready. I think that I think he took a massive exhale. And the question, and I'm going to get killed for this, does your fifth-year senior, and you're the number one guy that everybody thinks that could be the number one pick in the draft, Heisman Trophy contender, did those guys take weeks off?
And they shouldn't.
No, they shouldn't. And listen, I am so tired of hearing, make this catch, make that catch. Like, guys, we have seen 2 Heisman Trophy winning quarterbacks. 2. If that's the level of play that you're going to get, those guys aren't making those level of decisions and those level of throws. I'm sorry, not in certain situations. So
yeah, I mean, I would push back a little. I mean, you and I disagree on some of the drops, but it's semantics. I do agree overall, though. Blake, overall, that it wasn't the same Garrett game. It was not.
No, it felt like he took a week off. Does he now to turn that page, and we don't ever have to address it. Hopefully we don't have to address it ever again this season. We feel that way. There's no way he can do it here, because he got punished last year versus this team, and he missed a lot of stuff. He's got to check in. He's got to check in here.
Yeah, and LSU still one of the wildest games. 92 plays ran in that game.
40 minutes of time of possession. 40.
And it showed you last year's game the weaknesses of both sides of the football, that Florida was hitting explosive play touchdowns very quickly and getting explosive plays really quickly, and LSU was able to convert 3rd and 5 and longer and 4th downs over and over and over again.
Yeah, didn't they have 24 third downs?
Yeah, and they converted, I think,
18 of them, right?
Yeah, it was something insane.
Right.
And the thing is, you had such a low yard per play number. It was to me the weirdest box score of the Briankelly era since that Auburn game in his first year. So for me, Blake, he's got to play better. And this is the big thing. If there's anything anybody wants to take away from this, is that versus Florida, he's got to run. You have got to
Got
scramble.
to.
You've got to. It was one of last year versus Florida was one of the most egregious non-scramble games I could remember. And the thing is, you just have to scramble a few times to help out your offensive line. Like, my thing is, if your offensive line is really up against it versus a good defensive line, you scrambling helps out because I, as a pass rusher, have to worry about that. And what Florida did a lot of last year,
No respect.
none. They you know what they called their defense versus LSU? They called it the Rodney Dangerfield. That's how much respect.
None.
None. I thought you were gonna laugh at that because you get it. Then
You've brought in two jokes here that I think you thought would be funny. That
that one just came to me. But
you might want to shelf them.
I'm never shelving the dad jokes. I'm never shelf. Well, as long as you never shelf pauses, I won't shelf a dad joke from someone.
Okay,
that's not
fair.
but
Fair.
but Blake, he's got to run some. There was a few non-runs in the Louisiana Tech game that was.
Let's call it the Chris Hilton one. I don't want to hear you trying to give Chris Hilton a look when he's on the far right hash.
That was top five.
Chris should have got a PBU.
Yes, was
right.
That wasn't even the best throw to make on the scramble. And
no, wasn't Xavion wide open?
It was Aaron who was open.
Oh, Aaron
working back to him, and that was when I was like, okay, Garrett, he's playing effort mode out there, and that's what happens when you get super comfortable playing a bad team, and you get super comfortable with your defense knowing that they're not going to score on you. You're trying things, but right there.
Do you think that's what it was? Do you think they were trying too much to see what stuck?
I think some of that is true, and that's why I'm bullish. Not just from Sloan's vantage point, but just Garrett in general. Just trying stuff.
Well, I don't want you to. But get
out there, do the damn thing. But on
Brian
that
Kelly was pissed in his post game. He was pissed that other guys didn't get in the game. He was livid.
Oh, it's critical.
Well, he was more livid after the Trades Green injury. He was pissed. Did you see him on the sidelines? He turned purple. He was the same color as his shirt because he knew that Trades shouldn't be in the game at that given point, and everybody knows it. And somebody got hurt over it. A critical piece.
Dude, there's nothing worse than a key piece getting hurt and a run a win. There's nothing worse here.
Look, Louisiana Tech's just not a good football team, right? And so
they're one of the worst teams that we have played during the BK era, and we played some
especially offensively. I mean, I don't think they're worse than the Grambling and Southerns or anything like that, but I do think that they're Southeasterns, Nichols. I mean, hell. Nichols won the Southland last year, so I guess you can't really, Anyway, look, it is what it is. Let's move on here to a couple other things. I know we talked a lot about the offense here. Is there something looking into this game that you say LSU does X and they win?
Yeah, let's get vertical. You've been saying it.
All right, so let's go through that. You break the film better or down better, and you talk about it. Carter, at some point, the receivers. Well, okay, I guess we can add it here.
Yeah.
I don't understand. Like, you can still do some things in the vertical passing game against too high. You just got to go in the middle of the field.
Yeah. And that's where not having Mason, because they had a lot of seam balls. That the beautiful one versus Alabama and one versus South Carolina.
Well, why aren't you doing that with Trades? Why aren't you trying to do the same thing with him or Bauer? What's the difference?
There is none. One thing that really stood out to me, Blake, because you challenged me on my show this weekend because you want Chris to play more.
Let me clarify. It's not just necessarily Chris. I don't think Xavion is an X. I think you have two slot guys in the formation, which you cannot do unless you're doing something where it's so bunched up like what New England did. Right? Like under Tom, they would put Wes and Edelman in on the field, or they put Edelman, or who was the other white kid? Amendola.
Amendola, and they also had Chris Hogan.
Right. So, I mean, whatever you want to like bring up in that situation, you need to put a X that can either stretch the field or a big body dude. You're running whip routes with him. You want him because he's versatile in the run game. Then put him in the freaking backfield.
Yeah,
and what do we like? Why? Like, then let him be versatile. But Carter, you talk about getting vertical. There is nothing that you can do if you have time where you have a tight end like Bauer or Tradez, and you have two guys on the boundary that run a 4-2. There's only three things you can do: pressure the shit out of the quarterback and get to him, bail out and let them take check downs the whole damn night, which fine, let them do it. It is what it is. They got too much speed. This is what I equated it to Monday. I didn't say it on your show because I was saving it. You went out and got pieces for the offense that you ran last year only to be more conservative.
Yeah, I could see that. And like one thing I'll say is the Baryon deep over that he dropped. Chris opened that up. Dude, I don't want to get into Baryon would tell you he needs to catch that ball. Okay.
Just because someone tells you they should catch it doesn't mean that when you have to go up for the ball like this, that it's a drop. You have to go back across your body. It's not a drop to me.
Okay. That's fine. But he should
continue.
But Chris was the one who ran the vertical on the 2-man Yankee concept to get it open. So
yep.
I Chris's verticality versus Florida was a big part of our game plan. One, he jumped too early. Another, Garrett threw
massively underthrew.
Yeah, right, and then there was one he threw out of the back in the end zone, and then there was one Chris dropped when we were trying to come back really late. So I would expect Chris to continue to be a part, because this is the question I get asked the most probably is, where's Chris Hilton? It's always, where is this receiver? Where is that receiver? It's hard to play wide receiver at LSU. I mean, there's so many talented players that have come.
Do you think that they need to do something different with Xavion?
I'm fine with Xavion's usage right now, because
I didn't ask you usage. I asked you, are you fine about where they're playing him at X? Usage is one thing. Usage, yes, we all agree we're fair with his usage. Does he need to be at the X? No,
that's not what you think of as an X wide receiver. No,
because it's not.
Yes, it's not. That should be Nick or Chris in theory, but I can also say that Xavion has produced at the X and Mississippi State, and then at the same time, he's playing well. I don't think there's any disagreement that he's playing well. Now,
but it's also a part of, he's not the guy that you're trying to build the offense off of. What you're trying to do is to get vertical. You can't hit explosives. So then why can't you? You got to try something. It's not been the offensive line. Garrett's bailing from pockets that are crystal clean. I mean, he did it in the red zone like 3 or 4 times that he shouldn't have bailed on. He's making wrong decisions, and that's a whole different conversation. But you can utilize him in different ways. Give Aaron a break. Motion him in the back. Why do you want Aaron Anderson blocking at the slot anyway?
I do want to bring up one question I wanted to ask you about the run game.
If you ask me about Kyle Parker, I'm going to lose my mind.
No. Why would you lose your mind over?
Then what in the hell are you doing with Donovan Green? Why are you?
Okay.
Why are you spreading out Donovan Green in 13 personnel, but you don't want him to trap somebody, or you don't want him to contain an edge?
I want to shout out Paris Hunter with the super chats, but
yeah, we're gonna get to him in just a minute.
But I want to bring up Chad's point. Okay, it was we need one of those TDP rushing efforts this week. Okay, so let me ask you this, Blake. I didn't ask you on our Sunday appearance. You love rushing schemes. You think about it oftentimes. Okay.
Have run schemes pajamas.
Yeah, dude. I would be a decent like pajama idea with like all the different.
Don't y'all steal my idea? I'm going to know where y'all got it from.
lemon pepper steppers with the counter drawn on them. I like it. So this is what I was going to ask you. So Chad brings up TDP, the legendary rushing performance.
Why aren't they running counter?
Okay, so that for those that don't know, that was everything. That was 99% of the rushing production. Does LSU switch things up because they've mostly been outside zone? They try to run
inside zone,
or inside zone. Yeah, they've mostly been zone. Okay, they tried to run a counter versus a light box with Harlem Berry this past weekend that should have gone for a big gain. I know you know which play I'm talking about.
I know exactly what play you're talking about.
I was like, why didn't Harlem doesn't need much? He's not a big guy. Just give him a little crease. So, do you think LSU should try to run counter?
The problem with running counter is if they haven't tried, if you hadn't tried it now, you hadn't tried it at camp. Either one or two things: either Joe Sloan saying that I want to do it my way, and he doesn't want Alex Atkins' assistance, which I think he needs Alex Atkins' assistance, or number two, you remember the Aaron Anderson screen? Stay with me here, but do you remember it
from this game
from Louisiana Tech? Yes.
Yes, it went for no gain. It got blown up. Yeah.
Correct. Kobe Fields made the play. He comes darting in. Paul Mabinga's sitting there at the middle backer. Okay? Why is he sitting at the middle backer? Because Josh Thompson took the wrong guy, and he couldn't counter. In the run game, I feel like that sometimes you just got to hit dudes. If it's your guy or not, you have a good idea of who you're supposed to go after, but if you're getting to the second level, hit some damn body. And that's what Josh Thompson did. Okay? Paul Mabinga was like, oh, well, he hit my guy. Where am I supposed to go? Kobe Fields comes dashing in and takes on Aaron Anderson. I actually don't mind. I saw your film study on this. I actually don't mind DJ Chester giving up penetration on that. Let me tell you why. Because it's a head-up nose, but he's got to flush him right or left.
Right, just one way or the other. Okay. Yeah.
Correct. Actually, I want him giving up pressure. It's the only time that I ever want him giving up pressure is when you have a middle screen, okay? Just you got to push him to the side. He's so horrible at cleaning out the trash. I say that to say I don't know if they have confidence that those guys, meaning Adams or Mabinga, if they're pulling, that they know where to go at the second level.
Yeah, and
okay,
yeah,
but
no, I'm with you.
Then why don't you do it with Josh Thompson?
I mean, that's what I'm getting to. Let's just try and run a few counters to the left side with Josh leading the way. I know we just couldn't get it right with Harlem this past weekend. And my next question for you would be: Do you think 22 should get more touches?
I think it's still a little too soon.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. Like,
I mean,
I wouldn't.
Maybe you should and give him a couple of carries, and if he breaks one, okay, then keep handing him the rock like you did with Caden Durham against South Carolina, because it was game 3 when that happened.
And if you look at a lot of the LSU kind of breakouts, the running back that alphas or becomes a big piece of the offense, you normally do see a few that happen in like week 3, week 4 types of areas in the past couple of years, or throughout LSU football history. So
I do not think that they trust him at all in pass protection.
Nor should they. I mean,
nor should they. But here's the question.
Yeah.
Why, if you're having offensive issues, are you keeping guys in to block? It's the whole Les Miles argument. If you got more options out there to throw to, then you got more options to throw to. You're not asking a Ferrari to sit in the garage so your people can come over to see it. You're asking the Ferrari to get out there and get that motor running.
Yeah, and Blake, if LSU were to call me and say, "Hey, what is the one thing you think we should just quit doing?" It's the tightening of the formations.
Oh, I agree. I 1,000% agree.
And it's not because it can't work. There are plenty of coaches who make those types of formations work. It's just it's not been good through multiple coordinators at LSU. You know, I think one of the more underrated plays of the LSU BK era was when versus Missouri. They could not stop us. Missouri, that great defense that had all those pros on it, first rounders. To ice the game away, we decided to go 14 personnel and take Malik and BTJ off the field. And you know what Missouri said? Missouri said, thank you. Thank you. Those guys are kicking our fucking asses. Thank you for taking them off the field. And guess what happens? Jaden Daniels makes one of the best fumble recoveries, because if he doesn't recover it, they scoop and score and they win the game. And that comeback was for naught. I guarantee you, if you were to go look at any stat, yard per play, EPA per play, red zone efficiency, when we go to that heavy personnel and we bring Bo Bordelon, an offensive lineman who's wearing number 89 on the field, it's going to be bad. The splits are going to be bad. I haven't done it. I should go do it, but it drives me insane. It drives me insane. Don't tighten it.
It drives me insane too. It drives me insane when you're getting a wide receiver to go to the end line of scrimmage to block.
Oh, the Kyle Parker wraparound?
It drives me fucking insane.
It worked once. It didn't work versus Louisiana Tech. They tried it.
People know what you're going to do. Once you put it on film, you got to have something counteract to that. Like, hey, I got an idea. Why don't you go a play action and run a quick screen or run a quick slant with Kyle Parker in a game like this and say,
No.
Like the Jurassic Park. We're going to throw something off of this, and you're screwed. You know what LSU offensively should have done? What they should have done this week is run something else off of what they showed versus Clemson.
Yeah. I mean, that's all Steve Sarkisian does. I mean, that's
all that he does. They tried to do it, and I give him credit, motioning Barryon out and throwing the fade. I saw Garrett's comment today, and he goes, well, it is what it is. No, it's not. It is what it is. I mean, come on. So, I don't know. Thoughts on the before I get you out of here, how do you see it going down? You see us winning, losing? What do you see?
I think it's a close game.
I do too. I'm taking the under.
Oh, I'm going to bet LSU unders the rest of the season. I bet it versus Clemson and Louisiana Tech, and that's not a shot at LSU. I mean, a few years ago it was the over, and I think I thank Bo Bordelon and Trey Holly for the best LSU over of all time versus Army to get it over at 60 to make it 63-0. Dude, I was cheering so hard. I've never cheered harder because I was just max unit overs for anytime number 5 was my quarterback. I was like, you just bet the freaking over. You're gonna
So I'm just going to say this. We get a couple of, before the lines actually come out, we get a little heads up from our birdies over there by the people below your name there. And I may have heard that this, what the line was going to be when it came out. And I literally texted back and said the under. And they keep laughing at it. I'm just like, the under.
Did the line move? Did they treat you as sharp action?
No, I don't know, but I said under. And I'm just going to tell you, I'm going to keep betting it. I bet it the first 2 weeks. It was my biggest bets of the week.
Let's go.
I bet the under twice, and I'm like, no way.
All right, I need the Ruffino and Joe hat on here. What are we doing with Tennessee and Georgia this weekend?
I'm going Georgia.
Dude, you're if there's one person that's not concerned about the Dogs preseason, even after 2 weird offensive games, you're still with the Dogs going on the road.
Did you watch the game?
Which one? With the
Georgia,
Marshall?
Austin P?
Yeah.
You do realize that they only ran 3 route concepts.
Oh yeah, dude. They're just running screens and
they ran hitch, slant, screen.
That's all they're doing. It's
they have not shown you who they are.
Kirby is, by the way, if you want a sports betting thing, Kirby is notorious for treating the Renowins softer than any coach, right?
Oh.
And that's why you kind of
they ran the ball 24 straight times.
Yeah, I mean, it was interesting.
He literally ran the ball on 3rd and 7, and then almost punted it on 3rd down.
And Noah Thomas has not been featured at all. I was like, Dude, Noah Thomas is a freaking
But
monster.
Kobe Young's a beast too. He's a physical freak.
Kobe Young is like the weirdest wide receiver I've ever evaluated because his first 2 games at Miami, he went Megatron. They're calling him Andre
Mhm.
Johnson. And then he didn't have any 100-yard games since then. And dude, he's a freak. He is an absolute freak.
He's a freak.
But
What other games?
But I'm dude. Am I
dare say that you're picking Tennessee?
Am I square for buying into the Vols?
Yes.
2 square. Okay. I guess
Carter, they got in a dogfight with Syracuse in the third quarter, and Syracuse. I mean, I'm not trying to go transitive property. Fran Brown's got them boys running after the game because they're in a dogfight with UConn.
That was the weakest shit I've ever seen.
Well, not to go there, but I will just tell you this. I mean, is Joey Aguilar going to start turning the ball over? Because
at some point you would think, knowing what he's been in the past.
Right. So, I mean, this ain't the defense to do that to.
Here's what I would say about the Vols. It's very impressive what they've done through 2 weeks. And it's also strange that Lance Hurd is like actually playing good right now, which he did not play good last year, but he is starting to play well.
First-time starters are interesting. All right. A couple of super chats here. P. Scott says a $5 super chat says, Carter, I told you Joe needed to spend the summer with Steve. Moore is the key to the offense.
Braylon, yeah, I'm with you. If anyone knows ACC sports, it's Paris. She is a Duke super fan, so she knows about the ACC transfers.
Oh, Illinois smacked them Blue Devil cheeks this weekend.
Dude, Darian Mensah. I'm glad he cashed in, but
5 turnovers.
It was ugly. I will say though, and you know this, between the headset, I'm not saying running a program, all right, because I know how things went at Arkansas, but between the headsets, there's not many better than Brett Bielema.
I agree.
Dude, there's just not many people who you want coaching a game more than him. It might not be more than 5. Now, I'm not saying there's more to it. Talent acquisition, that's not really his thing. But, God, he knows how to call a game. He knows how to manage a game. And
Altmaier had a really good game.
He's good. I mean, he's just good. Like, he's just a good college run the offense quarterback. I like it.
Agreed. She also says Nuss has to play better. I agree with a $5 super chat. Yeah, I mean, he's got to play better.
Yeah, I think I just keep going back to the overall yard per plays, and it is something that our yard per play numbers are so poor through 2 games. And the way you increase yard per play is hitting explosives, and we need to hit these, whether it's receivers making tougher catches or just putting the ball where we could get them. And who knows? I mean, I think I think this LSU offense will hit a few vertical shots versus Florida, even if they don't establish a run. So we'll see what happens.
Hunter says, "Is Carter even an LSU fan? Is that a question?"
I've only dedicated my entire life to this team. I don't make a gazillion dollars doing this. The little bit of money I actually spend are on DJ Chart cards. Like, why would I be an LSU? Why would I be a fan of anyone else?
Here's the thing. I and this isn't directed at Hunter, but if you say anything negative towards LSU, people start questioning your fandom as if I don't have 2 kids and a wife that I'm trying to take care of too.
Yeah, and there is a downside of being honest. And Hunter, you don't ever have to watch a piece of my content. That's fine. But the one thing I owe everybody that watches your show, my show, when I go on any other show, no matter how big or small it is, I want to give you my honest opinion. I want to give you everything I possibly can. And I will also tell you this, and Blake, you might feel differently. You might be able to do this with a clearer conscience than I am. It is so hard to criticize an LSU player. It is so hard. It is not easy to do. There's maybe a handful of LSU players who I honestly dislike. Like, I want all of them.
Agreed. People think I hate Garrett. I don't hate Garrett, but I mean, I just think he's got to play better.
If you knew how many messages I've gotten about bringing up Chester last year, and I'm just like, no, it's not anything against him. And also, when you criticize a player or a coach, there's so many different factors that go into that thing succeeding. I'm not just criticizing just that one player or that one thing. I'm criticizing the entire ecosystem around that player. It's not necessarily baseball or basketball where it's more your own individual ability to go out there and hit a baseball or hit a shot or whatever. Football, there's 22 guys on the field at one time. So, Hunter, I'm sorry I disappointed you, but just know I love you as well. All right, Blake.
See you next week. Hopefully we get the win here.
All right, buddy. We'll talk soon. Cheers.
Carter, the Power Bryant. I know I was supposed to talk about LSU's schedule. Here's the truth about their schedule. It's brutal. I don't like that Texas is not coming to Baton Rouge. I do not like that we are in a situation here where why can't we get the replication of Texas coming to Baton Rouge? Why do we have to go back to Georgia? The SEC is horrible at scheduling. And I know that I had a very viral moment about scheduling, and people disagreed this past January. Who was right? It doesn't make you scared to point out that you have a brutal schedule. You got Vandy on the road. You got Tennessee on the road. You got Mississippi State on the road. You got Ole Miss on the road. I mean, guys, you go to the state of Tennessee twice in 2 weekends. Like, that is brutal. But Jay Johnson don't care about your shit. All right, we'll see you tomorrow. Y'all have a great night. Peace.